What up? What up? My name is Kiro for short, and I wanted to talk about why I play a Retribution paladin in Classic WoW, and my thoughts on just everything about a ret. So I wanted to hit 3 points. Hopefully I'll remember. I'm just freeballing right now. But why I play a ret, first and foremost. I played a ret for the past 2 years. Played a ret on private servers, and now I play a ret in Classic WoW. And the main couple of reasons why I play a ret is I find it fun. I find it fun playing a class that wields a huge two-hander, right? You don't get that too often on Alliance. I've always been a sort of support player, and being a ret allows me to do more than just damage. It allows me to heal when needed, DPS to my heart's content, pop a lay on hands, bop. There's situational things that I can do that other DPS classes cannot do. I love the fact that there aren't that many ret players compared to other classes and specs. So I have to sort of figure out on my own necessarily what I should be doing in this situation. Figuring out what the best items are. For the most part, it's pretty obvious, but it's not as researched, I guess, as other classes. I know it doesn't make any sense to some, but the ret class is quite spammy in terms of the buttons I have to press. The rotation changes because I can't clip my seal of command proc. So I can't just spam over and over again. I have to hold off a little bit, maybe wait half a second before I can cast my judgment or my consecrate. So it forces me to dial in on what my actions currently are, during a raid or during whatever I'm doing. And I just enjoy the class. I enjoy the fantasy aspect of it. I love being a holy warrior in Classic WoW. Especially, when you have to sort of fight against other players' opinions and perspectives on how you should play your class and what others should be doing, or, comparing their guild and their own experience raiding and extrapolating that out and forcing those opinions on others. But at the end of the day, I can't find enjoyment playing any other class. And that's why I've stuck with this ret. If you've played with me, if you've raided with me, I'm not a popular player on my server or on Pagel, but I'm pretty sure that the people that I've come across, they respect the work that I put in. I farmed my ass off. We're pumping flasks, every consumable known to man, trying to get all these world buffs. I'm putting in the same work as others, and hopefully I've gained some respect in my local community, right? But then this takes me to another idea of, how rets are treated, I guess, and thought about. And overall, how it affects the community. The MMO community, the classic WoW community. Just the online gaming environment that we all take part in. I will be the first person to say that ret DPS sucks. And ret DPS is quite low, and I'm barely hovering above tanks, right? But if you see my gameplay, if you see what I'm doing, I'm trying to put in as much effort, and I'm trying to be as effective as possible. But at the end of the day, it's what I enjoy and what I love. And I've been blessed to have 2 guilds that have taken me and, you know, sort of pushed aside what the community thinks about Retribution paladins, and for that I am forever thankful. But I just wanted to talk about how there's a large portion of the community that will tell you to reroll, that will tell you you can't raid, that will tell you that you're holding your guild back, that will tell you that you can't clear content in a timely manner if you have a Retribution paladin. And I just want to talk about that for a bit too. I don't know if some of my guildies think this way as well, but you know, having a player who tries hard, who gives their all, who gets world buffs, who helps dungeons, helps other players farm, helps create a positive environment, a community, right, within their guild. I feel like they're a strong player. I feel like they're necessary, right? You got to have your top tier DPS players. You got to have your support role players. You got to have your players that summon. You got to have your players that lead. You got to have your players that just follow. But a guild can't just be filled with top-notch players that just pump hard. And I feel like it creates a sort of toxic environment, you know. And I just want to say, I think, you know, I've been on the subreddit, Classic WoW subreddit, since the beginning. I've been on private WoW server subreddits for a long time as well, and the overall consensus is that Retributions are the laughingstock of the raiding community. And it is true from a numbers perspective that rets can't hang with ferals and warriors and mages and warlocks. But does it even matter? Doesn't matter. Classic WoW has obviously been a lot easier than most people anticipated. And that's largely due to the fact that the Activision team didn't properly release Classic WoW. There was no progressive itemization. Some classes are buffed in certain ways, with warriors having flask sets and toggling heroic strike, and you know, there's a lot of other things that have made Classic WoW very easy. Raids are undertuned a bit. Knowledge, of course, plays a big role in that too, but we still hold on to these hardcore mentalities where that sort of don't let certain players play what they want to play. And a large part of me, a large reason why I play the Red, like I said before, is for the fantasy aspect. You know, and feel like with people still holding on to the fact that Rets shouldn't be part of your rating community, that they're a, what's the terminology, that it's just a waste, right? I feel like that mentality is just so pervasive, and it's so prevalent throughout the classic WoW rating community, that it does affect players like myself. I question if I'm holding my team back. You know, I question if I should just re-roll and be a mage and just pump DPS. But it's not what I enjoy. And as we get to the later stages, you know, Nax is almost out. And a lot of people have given up. A lot of people have quit the game. And it's this sort of hardcore mentality that we still hold on to. Who's this guy's? What are you blocking me, dude? Okay. And I kind of think how it affects just MMOs in general and future MMOs and new players who just want to get into the game and have fun. Sorry, I'm thinking here. Do we have to like force our own opinions onto others and to make fun of them and to ridicule them, even when we can see that they're enjoying themselves and having fun with an online game? Let's say we're not playing Classic WoW. Let's say we're playing basketball, right? And you're a great player. Your friends are good players. And then one day you're playing street ball and there's a pickup game out there, and then you see this kid who doesn't look right, who doesn't have the right shoes, who after you see him play, he can't pass. His shot's off. You know, he does all the things wrong, you know, but you see him having fun. And obviously the good players, or some people, will make fun of that player for playing basketball, for playing the game that he enjoys, that he, you know, that's a form of his entertainment. And maybe some players will tell him, hey, dude, don't play basketball. Go play computer games, or go to the library, or, you know, do something else, man. You can't hang with us. But is that what we should be doing to that dude who's not pulling his weight, but he's having a good time? And I question, and I think about it. I'm like, damn, if I was in that position and I know that dude's having fun, dude, just let him be. You know, that's the path he's chosen. Maybe he's not gonna get picked up on the next game. Maybe he's gonna get passed over for Larry, right? Or Lamar. But he should still be allowed to play. He should still not be ridiculed for his choices, right? I know the Retribution Paladin pathway is very difficult. Disregarding the toxicity and just how most people view a Retribution Paladin, you gotta farm more. Yeah. I know I'm not gonna get invited to most groups. They'll be like, hey, we're looking for a DPS for AQ20 Pug, GDKP. I'll be like, hi, Retribution Paladin, Bisgear. Don't need anything, just need rep. No response, right? No response for 5-10 minutes, and that dude's still spamming LFG. And I'm cool with that, because I understand, right? This is This is the path that I've chosen for myself. But let's say I didn't have enough confidence in my abilities. Let's say I didn't have that tenacity to push through and keep playing the spec the way that I want to play. Some players might just give up. Some players might just quit the game. Maybe they'll just re-roll into another class that they don't enjoy as much, but they're more accepted. And I think about that kind of world, where you can only play A, B, and C, and D, E, and F are all ignored and just forgotten. I feel like the variety in our community, I feel like it's just not as diverse. And I don't want to be in a world where we're all Simons. I want to live in a world where we have tons of different people. Maybe people that don't even want to raid. They just want to be a Retribution paladin and just do their thing. You know, just having smite priest. Okay, no one plays a smite priest, so there are limits to this. Maybe, just kidding. But let's say that one guy just quits the game because every day people tell him not to play and he doesn't get invited anymore. Their community loses one player. Maybe loses a couple of players. And we're just surrounding ourselves with tons of fury warriors and mages and that's that. And some of them really enjoy the class because they like the playstyle of the class, and maybe a couple of them just play the class because they see high numbers. But I just want to be, I don't know, it's just... And then I think about new players who are just trying out the game and maybe they chose the wrong spec and maybe they don't even hit 60 because they're just like, man, this sucks. Why is everyone being like this towards me? So I'm just speaking from the heart and just trying to explain my thoughts, and you know, maybe for the future, maybe for TBC, of course TBC will be a little bit easier because most specs are fixed and balanced and people's mindsets are completely different. Maybe for the next game, maybe for an MMO in the future, maybe for any other type of game. I just feel like the mindset that you can't play this spec because it's bad and I'm gonna make fun of you. I don't know if it adds to the game. I don't know if it creates a better community. Because obviously, look at me. We've raided a key for months now. I'm still trudging along, doing my thing. And you know, if I didn't care enough about this game, if I didn't care enough about my guild and the people that I play with, all those like outside perspectives and the overall general consensus of a Retribution paladin would just be too heavy on my shoulders and my mind, and now I just quit the game. And this is a time where the game gets really tough and you don't want to raid BWLMC and ZGs all the time. But because I love the class, because I love the playstyle, because I love my friends and the people that I play with, you know, I'm still here. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. I'd love to hear your comments, and you know, my whole goal for this was to just shine a little bit more light on the fact that I don't think we should control how other people play. I feel like if people enjoy themselves and they're giving joy to the people around them, that we should just let them play however they want to in an RPG game. I love classic WoW, dude. Been on private servers for 3 years before this. And that's that. Thanks for listening.